Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Glad you stopped by on this rainy Southern California day. It's not really a good day to go outside and get anything done, so I decided to make a video and show you guys some of the smokers that I've made in the last 8 and 10 years. One was made out of 255-gallon drums, and after that I sold it and began another project where I made the barrel. Me and Deborah made the barrel from scratch from sheet metal, and rolled everything ourselves and fabricated everything ourselves, except for the base. Found that on the scrap pile. But it all started about 10 years ago, and we ended up with this up and over smoker, which worked really good. Really miss it. It's definitely not the same kind of cooking as oven and cheeseburgers, and if you want a barbecue fatty and you really want to impress your friends with your cooking, a smoker is really the only way to go. So my first smoker, this ugly 55-gallon drum smoker, basically was a result of taking two 55-gallon drums used for storing canola oil. I had to burn out the inside because it had a food-grade lining, and I had to burn it all out with wood and make sure there was just raw metal inside. One word of caution: don't ever use tanks that were used to store oil or chemicals of any kind. It's really bad, and you never know what you might be ingesting. So here's kind of a layout of the ugly drum smoker that I built before paint. You can see how I Siamesed a second barrel to use as a firebox, and in between I used a baffle system to keep the flames from going directly at the meat, which I didn't want. I wanted it to be an offset smoker, and ended up working out really well. And so the door I welded some strap to keep the wind and smoke in. Built a rack underneath to hold supplies and wood and charcoal and whatever I might need under there. It was pretty heavy. I'd say it was probably about 80 pounds, mainly due to the frame was 1/4 inch angle everywhere pretty much. There's another shot of the baffle, and baffle from the firebox side. You can see you can't see the inside of the smoke chamber directly, and that's kind of how I wanted it. I used exhaust tubing for a single smokestack on the opposite end, and had a little flapper to regulate the temperature, to do fine tuning. Had a single rack pulled out pretty far, and it's about all I really needed at the time. Painted all barbecue black, and I used a shovel handle as a handle and a couple thermometers. There's a look at the firebox. Had some grating inside and slag hammer handles as the latches. There's Hershey. So it worked out pretty well, but it just wasn't enough. I ended up selling this. I recouped myself and had a few tasty beverages. Thought about what I was going to do next. Went out and got some wood, mostly oak, and decided to make this monstrosity here. Call it the up and over smoker. We rolled the barrel ourselves. We didn't have a roller. We bent it around a pole and then cut out 2 discs and welded up the sides and fit it onto a base of an equipment rack that I found for free. And here's a general mock-up. You can see how I kind of lined out the door where I was just going to cut it open. And there's another view there of the side. Pretty heavy-duty casters. It could hold a lot of weight. I used shelving, metal shelving, to make the firebox. I mocked it up here on my workbench and welded everything up. And I kind of made it as I went. I didn't have drawings or any kind of design in mind. I just kind of worked with whatever was handy and I had on hand and made things fit. I used a standard fireplace grate for the firebox. It fit just perfect, and it ended up being exactly what I needed. So to contain that smoke, put it in the firebox, I ended up using a 3-inch exhaust pipe tubing from my truck that I cut off, and I put a chrome tip on it. Basically, I welded it in between the smoke box and the firebox. Worked out pretty well. I really should have done a 4 or 5-inch. Probably would have been better, but that was good enough. 250 degrees all day long, as you kept it stoked, and it worked out pretty well. I also made it wide enough to fit through a standard garage door, 32-inch wide door, so it could get in and out. I put a baffle inside the smoke chamber to keep the flames from getting directly into the smoke box and make it more of an offset, even though it was directly underneath the smoke chamber. Heat rises, and all that ambient heat really helped out. To hold the door open, I used a piano hinge and just a bracket that I welded to the back of it. Again, it worked out really well, simple. And there's the paint. I used just standard barbecue paint. Had 2 shelves slid out all the way, and you could put almost 50 pounds on them or more, and they would stay. There was never a problem. I really liked the smoker. I was able to get 250 degrees all day long, no problem at all. With the addition of a charcoal tray that I built and I stuck inside, I could actually get some direct cooking, grilling. So I could either grill or smoke on the same, or both at the same time. I could get really good high temperatures. I had a little drip can, just like standard smokers do, and a thermometer and a smoke sack on each side. It was super tunable, easy to cook with, and I end up practically giving it away. So I miss it. I may build one similar to it, but time will tell. It was a great smoker, had a good time with it, cooked a lot of good things with it, and I'm just waiting for my next one. So until then, smash that like button, subscribe, and we'll see you later, friends.